Well.
Well.
Back in the saddle, baby.
Well.
In a little bit, y'all. And that's my fault. And welcome back to Dustfire Media's wonderful show, Relics of the New Republic. This is episode 12. I think you can imagine what happened to me to prevent me from the last two episodes running normally. I went to a magical land called California.
Oh.
In it for some time, but thankfully Gus found me, fed me a meal at In-N-Out Burger, and then gave me words of guidance, and I've made it home safely.
And a hat.
So,
I got
you
a hat as well.
Yeah, you did, and we have a picture to prove it. So,
In case anyone was
thank you,
curious,
Gus.
this is not group hallucination. There is a picture to prove.
There is. There is a picture of us wearing our In-N-Out Burger hats, and I think we look pretty cool.
If we get one more sub on Twitch, we'll drop it in the chat.
Ooh,
I'm so
Jinkies
sorry.
was
the
already grabbing
background-
it. Yeah.
The background music just
background?
threw me off so much. I thought something was outside.
What is that?
I would like to apologize
You
to
were
everyone.
like,
I
"Is there an
chose that
alarm?"
music months ago when I didn't know it was going to be used as like the background music forever. I was like, tee hee, how fun, like little music for our intro.
Wow.
It makes it so good. Like the production value goes up, and then all of our chaotic energy just gets increased because we're like, oh, a thing. Oh, we're here. Sounds.
I think so. Hey, if there's any issue, we could work it out with Justin and find a less interesting track that doesn't sound like something right behind us. I don't know. I like this one.
I like
well,
it. I just
everybody.
wasn't
Oh
expecting
my gosh.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the hype train on Twitch, everyone. I will drop that picture now. Look at you guys.
Ooh,
Yay.
hype train. Well. I am so excited to GM again to continue our wonderful story here. And I'm joined by wonderful people. Hello, Nikki Bond.
Hi.
Hi, Will Jinkies.
The girl with the plan who was never a man. Hi.
Hey. Hi. Danny Wickman.
Hi.
Danny, you sound so defeated by technology today.
Demiplane
And-
just was not wanting to work with me, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And of course, my new In-N-Out buddy, Gus.
Hi. Hello.
Everyone
The
be
order
jealous.
is a double with chopped chilies. You add mustard. If you're like me and you have type 2 diabetes, you get it protein style. So you cut back on the carbies so you can enjoy fries. And then you get a Diet Coke. And then you and Steve have a moment where you accidentally forget who has what and drink each other's beverage. And it's
Yep.
okay.
You survived, I see. So that's
I lived.
good.
I made it through. I didn't go into diabetic ketoacidosis. It was great.
Good. That's a relief. And I know this won't be a surprise to anyone, but Gus is just as nice in real life. He's so nice. So just wanted to share that fun fact with everybody. Also, Gus, you're taller than I thought. Because your camera angle is always pointed down, and this is the way I always see you.
Yeah.
So
You were
perhaps all of
much
you are taller than I
expected.
thought.
Not
all
me.
of you are taller than
Nope.
me.
Nikki, are you willing to reveal for our audience the true height?
Yeah, I'm 5'1".
Okay. Yeah. I think I have a clear sense
Oh.
of what 5'1" is. Anyone else while we're on the subject, or are we gonna leave that a mystery?
I'm 5'8.5". How about that?
Oh, wow.
That's my height. I'm not very tall.
Really? I thought you were
That's
even
tall to
taller than
me.
that. I felt like you're
No, I
the
just-
same height as me.
I just carry myself very well. I have good posture. I have years of stuff that have made me feel taller.
Well, I didn't check if you were wearing platform shoes, but I think you may need to ask your doctor to tell you your true height next time. Next time you get a checkup.
We'll do.
I am not persuaded.
For those of us in the metric system, oof. If it's not in freedom units, I don't know how to do it. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I am
Mm.
1,227 millimeters tall for anyone using the good system. I will give it to you in the least useful
good
method possible.
system.
But
Thank you for that precision, Jinkies. And Danny, anything to add on this
175
riveting subject?
I think I'm 5'12".
6 foot.
So 6?
That does not sound very
5'12"
sure.
on my driver's license. So. Oh.
No, it does not. Take a
Is it
picture
really
of that.
cute?
That would be incredible. I would pay
No, it
money for
doesn't.
that
It
driver's
says-
license.
It says 3 feet on it.
I did know
Tallest
somebody who had a
Dan's
misprint of
license?
their eye color, and it said breen,
Ooh.
which I am so confident
Ooh.
is not a color.
I love
So
that.
somebody
though.
messed that up.
My eye collar says bro.
I have a
That's
friend
funny.
who deliberately lied on all of his stuff in his license. So it says that he's 4'8" and 382 pounds. And the lady at the DMV did not tell him no, even though that was all clearly not true about him.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know it was so easy to break the system. I guess it varies state to state as well. But
Well,
They
typically
probably
you
can't
like
question it
fill
as well.
Mm.
yeah,
For anyone
not a
who's
fun
interested,
job
I did drop the
DMV
photos
in general,
chat.
but especially if you're the person at the DMV who has to be like, I challenge the weight you wrote down on this card.
Yeah,
Oh God.
that would not go well.
Yeah. Well, let's do a little recap, shall we? Because I think all of us forget what happened. We got some nods. Okay. Yeah, it's been a bit.
I remember that we
So-
were in jail for pretty much all of last episode.
And then we
It
let
was
out
a lot
one
of
just
jail.
for this side of the Mississippi.
I hadn't heard that before. I love it. So we did have a lot of time relative to our episode in jail, though in life perspective, not a long jail time, thankfully. We had started out there. We learned, overhearing some important things on the radio, that some great academy minds, particularly historians, have gone missing. We learned a little more about the wonderful gum rainforest roots. We
Rainforest
noticed that
roots.
something's
I forgot
not
about
quite
that.
something's not quite right with Tenzin, it seems. And we successfully broke all of you out of jail. But there was a lot more than you flooding out of the building by the end of that, thanks to Kumadi and her assistants.
Well,
And so we had a riot, a jailbreak, people flooding out of the building. And perhaps the most significant thing in my mind that happened was that Jing Min met up with Kumadi and of her own accord said that she would join her. So that's some drama for you. I know it's been a while. Any questions? Any other important details you'd like to ask about before we jump in?
We're playing Avatar Legends.
We are still. Yes.
stay inquisitive, stay curious, my friends.
What is the status of Dumpy's financial holdings right now?
I think per what we've done on air, Dumpy's does not yet exist in a revitalized form yet. There is promise, there is talk on the street, but nothing more. Perhaps a champion needs to rise up and make it happen.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Is there like a stock exchange system in Republic City? Can one invest in companies publicly? Like, could we perhaps make Dumpies, I don't know, publicly owned?
Yes.
Okay.
In my headcanon, there's for sure stock exchange. In order to go IPO, you need to have an existing company that's doing pretty well. So I would suggest you instead try to get seed money, raise your Series A, some type of, initial capital for
Should we
Dumpies.
find an
Get it off the
angel
ground
investor
again.
for Dumpies?
That is the
everyone.
right word.
Welcome to Will and Gus Make Capitalism Worse in Avatar.
Yup.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have
Mainly
a title
so
now.
Next
Eric
episodes,
down.
we will be opening Dumpies and taking over the world aggressively with dumplings.
It should now be called Capitalism of the New Republic.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it is a theme. We've already touched on the theme. We will probably see
That is
much
a
more.
pretty good. You can cut costs if you don't pay your employees a livable wage. Exactly.
Thank you,
What
Justin,
the
for the
heck?
suggestion.
We
We
can
know a
pay
lot
them
of
in
getting paid
dumplings.
for our work.
I think it's crystal clear last time on air that I was in support of the cash bail system. I mean, just listen to my NPC who is at the kiosk outside of the jail. For the
Okay,
record,
Slurp.
all opinions that I use through my NPCs reflect all of my true opinions, including the ones that completely conflict. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on air, so I rescind that. Just in case I say something weird as an NPC. All right. Shall we?
I'm so
Yeah.
I am picturing just kind of a slow-mo unfolding as we open tonight. We see the jail. We've seen people pouring out of it. Now under Kumadi's command. She walks confidently with Perla and Donna and now Jing Min at her side out of the gate. But as they're pouring out, more of Republic City's police and other emergency responders are showing up at the scene. Even the White Lotus descend. The telltale uniform, like it is unmistakable. Their robes. Some of them appear to respond to this large incident. And we just watch as Kumadi and those with her retreat into the city. Some people at the edges of their group getting tackled, bound, people trying to put them back into jail. But by and large, it looks like they fade away, and we see Amuk and Fumi and Lin on the other side, having come out of the building elsewhere, not caught up in the mob. You saw Jing Min for a moment at Kumadi's side. You saw her retreat more or less safely into the crowd, but you have no answer for why. Otherwise, you've succeeded in your goal, which was to get out. What do you do?
Recover my stuff from Vinny first and thank him for that.
That's right. Benny stands beside you, and he has turned over everything. It's intact, except for some of the legumes which were eaten. And there's no rainforest roots gum left. I'm sorry to say.
Oh.
That was all chewed up
Benny
by the
definitely
guard.
ate all the gum. Oh no, Benny ate it on the way over.
It could be Benny
More-
too. It could have been a group
Give me
effort.
Benny. Just see Benny.
Do we get anything extra from Betty's sticky hands, or is it just our stuff?
Preferably, do we have Jingmin's bow? Wait, no, Jingmin had.
Jingmin
Oh, wait,
has.
no,
Jingmin has.
I did.
I
Jingmin has
definitely, Jingmin definitely has her bow.
Yes, that is important. Jingmin grabbed that and it never made it into police custody. So Jingmin was part of the breaking out operation, not the being broke out. So Yeah, you have everything, and no, Benny does not, unfortunately, return anything beyond your own possessions to you. But he has done what you asked quite admirably. Oh, that was close. Well, there you are. Good luck with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for all that, Benny. There's a lot going on.
There sure is. And he looks over at the White Lotus, who have just kind of tagged a few more people and are bringing them in through the other entrance of the building. Some police officers are now cordoning off and putting out things to kind of warn people about what's happening. And they start instructing you, step further away from the building, please.
We should probably step away from the building so they don't think we're
Ye-
part of that.
It's
Wait,
not a
Yeah,
safe
yeah.
area.
Let's do that first.
Can we still see Jing Min and Kumari from where we are?
They
or
have
they already
indeed faded out of sight
faded out
and
of
into
sight?
the city.
Just
But
Luke
Amuk, you would
silently
know
turns around.
several places to possibly find Kumari and the Red Monsoon at this point. Once things calm down, if that is something you are interested in doing. Of course, you could pursue immediately. And I'd also like to remind Fumi that it is late morning on the day that she is expected to train with the eelhounds.
we've got to go.
Yeah, I do. Are you guys gonna check on Jing Min?
I don't really think there's much we can do at this point. It doesn't seem like she was taken. I think she went willingly. Samuk is just so like quiet, just almost just
I-
shut down at this point.
Are
But
you okay?
looks
with
over
that,
at
Amuk?
looks over at Fumi. He's like, you know what? It's a really important day for you too. We'll figure it out. You're gonna be probender. This is exciting for you. It's one of your dreams. Let's go. Let's figure that
yeah.
out.
Let's go.
Plus,
Okay.
the further away we get here, I think the better at this point. And just starts walking. Looks very just not himself, very shut down. Still trying to be happy for his little friend, but
Before
Fumi
we
follows the
transition, yeah, we see you start to walk away from this scene. Let's pause here to announce to our audience what has happened by way of growth and advancement.
Whew.
We're the last some 5 episodes, perhaps 6. I won't ask all the questions on air this time. They've already been asked and answered, and so our players know what their points are and if they've taken an advancement. I think everyone has? Question mark?
I think so.
Yep.
I think everyone.
Amazing. Let's start with Nikki. What have you chosen for Fumi and why? What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I chose to boost up her focus by 1 because I feel like that's where she's at. She wants to really focus on like figuring out her airbending and just doing better with it.
Yeah. I'd love just a touch more. Like, is there anything that particularly heightens her sense of the need to focus? Anything that's impacted her recently?
Just like I would say just especially the thing that happened like with Tenzin, he's the master of airbending and he's come under this. And so she's like one, as far as she knows, the only one that knows what's going on from Air Temple Island, and she doesn't fully know what she's gonna do.
Oh, that hits. What about you, Jinkies? What have you chosen for Lynn?
So we took a new move from their playbook. So we took Roguish Charm from, I believe, the Rogue. So when you plead with an NPC or guide and comfort someone by flattering them or empathizing with them, mark 1 fatigue to roll with creativity instead of harmony.
Oh. And your creativity stat is your strong stat, whereas harmony is not, correct?
Yeah, harmony is neutral, but creativity is a +2. And I feel like giving Lynn the ability to be kind to her friends while doing something she's good at, right, in a creative way, is probably a little beneficial towards her trying to get close to these people that she's spending a lot of time with.
Nice. So she's internalized the sense of the importance of developing this skill.
Yeah. She's messed up a couple conversations lately, so we're trying to improve on that.
Oh.
I feel you in real life, girl. I feel you. So, how about Gus? Have you made a decision for Amuk?
Narratively, I'm kind of stuck between the only two moves I have left, but I feel like they both fit. But I'm also not mechanically understanding one, so maybe if you can give me some clarification. So it's No Time for Feelings is what it's called. And it says when you have equal or fewer conditions marked than your highest principle, mark fatigue to push down your feelings for the rest of the scene and ignore condition penalties until the end of the scene. When you resist an NPC shifting your balance, mark a condition to roll with conditions marked, max +4. You cannot then choose to clear a condition by immediately proving them wrong. Kind of what I'm feeling, but I'm not 100% sure if I understand how it works.
Yeah, and this is something I've wanted to get into more in growing as a GM in this system, is using NPCs to try to shift your balance. Like I know some of you have already camped out sometimes at +3 on your balance track, like right at the edge of things. And if you get pushed successfully and someone shifts your balance off of your track, you get taken out of scene. And it changes your character. They have a new center that shifted 1 towards wherever you fell off the track. So that is something we could lean into more, and No Time for Feelings would affect or impact how you can respond to that. It's when you use the resist shift and balance, which is a balance move. You can essentially resist more strongly, it sounds like.
And then for I Don't Hate You, I don't know if there's maybe just a typo on their sheet, but it says when you guiding comfort someone in an awkward, understated, or idiosyncratic fashion, roll with passion instead of harmony if you mark insecure or insecure is already marked. So I was like,
oh, I see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it reads awkwardly, but essentially you can mark insecure to exercise this move. Or if it's already marked, you can just exercise this move.
Okay. I think it's gonna be No Time for Feelings. Amuk is leaning more towards his results versus his restraint at this point. He's already bloodbended and he's lost his lodestone and a friend, and now he's ready to start, as they say, bashing skulls.
Stop,
do
it makes
say
me
that.
so sad.
Yeah, considering what Amuk just went through, that one fits like to a T.
That's why I'm like, it's got to be that one. It has to, like, it hurts my feelings talking about it. Like, I'm genuinely like getting sad thinking about it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
No. Yeah, that's
I hate
real.
you, Jing Min.
No, really, it's fine. Oh my God.
No, it's fine. Bye.
And just to highlight, in case the other part of it wasn't clear mechanically as well, Gus, there are tons of times where we've had marked conditions, especially Jing Min has had all conditions marked. And so you've noticed there's that -2 to rolls related to specific conditions, right?
Yeah.
And so you can exercise as long as you have equal or fewer conditions marked than your highest principle. So if you're shifted, like for example, if you're +2 or even +3 results on your balance track, if that's where your balance is, then if you have, let's say it's +3 or fewer conditions marked, you can just ignore all of those conditions temporarily for the duration of a scene. So you won't suffer a penalty on your rolls.
A penalty of it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense, because right now I'm sitting, I think, at a +1 towards results, and I still have afraid marked, which with No Time for Feelings would mean I would just ignore afraid.
Mhm. Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. for
And
that.
so as long as you have fatigue to mark, you can exercise no time for feelings until the end of a scene, and we'll just determine what the rest of the scene is,
Mhm.
when we cut it off.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have we recovered any fatigue since we are now doing growth and advancement as well? Can we recover?
We
some
do
fatigue?
not. Yeah, there's no magic there. Last time you recovered from fatigue was Air Temple Island, and so you'll need to nap if you need a nap, my friend.
All right. Amok is
We
going to do the
recovered
old
fatigue
man
in
thing.
prison, right?
Yeah, you guys did.
Oh yeah, y'all did. And I think Danny asked the question at the top last time, and so I think I gave you a chance to recover from staying at Cho's, or actually staying at your hideout. It's not Cho's necessarily, but all right, Danny. Last but not least, what have we done for Min of the House Jing?
So, funny enough, I was also going to take no time for feelings, but I've decided to pivot. I comprise a whole list of moves to take just in case this happened. And so
Wow.
I'm going for a move from the Razor playbook from the Wanchutong Library rulebook called "Winning is Everything." I feel like this kind of
This is the most Jing Min name
yeah,
of a move.
it kind of
It's
plays
too free what it
into
does. But
yeah, it kind of plays into her like joining a gang too. Like just, this is dark.
Yeah.
If she wasn't already dark before. Winning is everything. When you choose to use dirty tactics, targeting an innocent your foe is trying to protect, throwing sand in their face, etc. At the start of a combat exchange, instead of using one of the standard approaches, say what you do and take a 10+ instead of rolling the stance move. You become favored for this exchange and may choose your techniques from any approach. At the end of the exchange, your opponent may call out your disgraceful behavior and lack of integrity to shift your balance twice. So basically, I can use this to just do whatever I want. Any technique from all three of the stances at the beginning of the exchange, but at the end, I can be called out and they can force me to shift my balance twice.
It's
That's
crazy.
So, yeah.
That's so rad that I said the word rad, which I never say. So wow.
Yeah, as soon as Gus said no time for feelings, I was like,
Must research.
I still
Wow,
might take
great
it at
choices.
some point because
Something you and Amuk have in common.
yes.
Just hardened by the world. Well, I think we all made great character appropriate choices. I'm excited to see you use these. Perhaps even tonight it will come into play. Well, let's get back into the story. We watch Jing Min and Kumadi with Perla and Donna now transitioning through the back door into a Red Monsoon establishment, the Woozy Crown. Surrounded in time, short order, by not only the usual faces, including LJ and the manager of that establishment and others that you've seen, but a bunch of new people gather around Kumadi as they shuffle into this building. You've successfully escaped the authorities, and Kumadi just surveys the room coolly. And we don't hear her voice, but she begins to speak, just kind of standing up on a pedestal, addressing new recruits of the Red Monsoon who have just been broken out of jail. Her numbers are greater now than before. And Jing Min, I'm just curious, as we zoom in on your face, what are you thinking?
I think Jing Min is surface level. She seems very angry maybe like hurt and betrayed. And she's using the anger to kind of, push down like what she's actually feeling, like the feelings of just sadness. Like she feels like she lost a brother, like a big brother. And so she's just, but she can't show sadness because then she'll get locked in a dark basement again. So she has to just be angry.
We will
So, yeah, that's
hopefully
what
lean
she's
into
doing.
dealing with that. We need a healing arc for Jing Min, everybody.
Oh,
We need a therapist. Get one
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh no, my heart.
We cut to Akifumi Yako. I imagine you are heading for the probending arena. Is that
Yes.
true?
Very quickly.
Okay. Fumi, I'm just curious, as we possibly step into the match today, how much fatigue do you have marked, and any conditions marked?
3 fatigue, no conditions.
Okay. I could call that middle of the road, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fitting.
It's not waking up on your
Fair.
best day. You woke up in jail, you broke out, and now you're rushing to your match. So, better excuse than others
Yeah.
might have.
You gotta dig
Yeah.
deep. That's
And that's not even to talk about the emotional turmoil.
What?
oh, no.
Are there any therapists that listen to this podcast? Do you have time to make your way down to the Republic City? Because we have a list for you.
There is a great need. Well, Lynn and Amuk, you exert yourself to keep up with Fumi as she races towards the building. And as you get close to the entrance, you are greeted by 2 familiar faces. It's the other eelhounds, Mao and Xiang. And Mao, to your surprise, Fumi, because you were not nearly this close, embraces you on seeing you. Oh, thank goodness you're here. Oh, Fumi.
Is everything
I'm so-
okay?
No is probably the better answer. Well, yes and no. Xiang hits Mao. No, it's mostly no. So,
No.
well, it's good that you're here. That's good. But it's not just a practice today. It's an exhibition. There's like already a whole crowd and tickets and everything. And we got thrown into it last minute. I'm so sorry to do this to you and to put this on you. But can you play with us today? Because the whole point of the exhibition is airbenders trying out probending, and they have Dallasay. You know
Oh my gosh,
Dallasay?
They have Dallasay?
Yeah, so
Oh.
you can see his hands just shaking. So they have paired Dallasay, and Xiang just pushes him aside. So they paired Dallasay with the Buzzard Wasps. So it's a tough match, but the whole point isn't necessarily winning, though it would really help our reputation if we win.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
what he
this
was
is so
gonna say.
cool. Oh, yes, we have to do this.
Oh, so you're good. You're good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm great.
Mouse seems
Everything's
slightly
great.
heartened.
We're going to focus on this.
Okay, that's great. And he just nods way too much. There's just lots of nodding. Oh, okay. We should go inside and warm up. There's not much time.
Yeah. Good idea. Amuk, Lin, I will see you guys after the match. And yeah.
Okay.
Luke's just like, all right, we'll go look for some snacks, I guess.
Yeah, don't get hurt. That would suck. Bye.
Now, Nikki, Fumi would be aware that the conversation about airbending being incorporated into probending is very much evolving. It's in its nascency, right? And so there are not hard rules prohibiting specific airbending moves or anything like that. Whereas everything else is at a great point of refinement. There's no headshots allowed for firebenders or earthbenders, but there are headshots allowed for waterbenders, for example. That type of specific does not exist for airbending. And so that there's very low likelihood that a ref will call anything that you do outside of the normal rules, like staying in your zone, for example. But you warm up quickly. You have an exchange, warming up first with responding to some dodging earthbending discs, then dodging balls of fire from Sean. And afterwards, you feel just a keen sense of the opportunity that this is. Particularly, I'm thinking of your playbook, Nikki. This is a real opportunity for the right kind of fame. Can you remind me with your playbook choices, like what your crowd or constituency is? I forget what the term is, but
so for my reputation, the base is monastic, but the target is urban.
Okay, so this is your target, the people of Republic City, and you can hear just rising slowly as you're warming up the murmur of the crowds and the energy that is outside waiting for you. I would like to give you the status empowered.
Yay. All right.
Now, Lynn and Amuk, have you taken a look at arena moves?
Yes.
If not, if it's been a while, that would be something to pull up. It's all right. That'd be something to pull up in your book, because you don't have to sit idly. You can do stuff before, during, and after the match as fictionally appropriate. There's a bunch of moves that you can do, and they're super fun. And for those listening to this, if you haven't tried this aspect of the Korra era, it looks super fun. This is my first time trying it with anybody. And so this would be something to look at if you have the Avatar Legends game. It's super cool. I'd like to actually look at a few of these. Maybe I'll just read one or two of the arena moves. What page is that on? 65, I believe, of the Republic City supplement?
68.
68.
At least that's what I printed out.
So close. My GM brain must be sharpened.
I was not referring to that. Do not worry.
Oh, okay. So, for example, an arena move could be a motivational speech where you rally and unite a PC team, and you can give them bonuses. You could do a scouting report where you scout out the opposing team and analyze strengths and weaknesses, or listen to any rumors about what's going on with them, or otherwise gather some type of important information that could give an advantage in the actual match. You can place bets. You can wager on a team's success or failure. These are all things that you can do with arena moves. Highlight moves are the moves that we will see from Fumi and the NPCs that play with her on the Eelhounds. You get one highlight move each time you're assigned for the round. There are just 3 rounds, each representing a minute of the probending match. And so if we had 3 PCs, it'd be typical that one of you would have 1 round for a highlight move. Second person has the second highlight move. Third has a third highlight move. And then that's the end of the match. Since you'll be playing alongside NPCs, we'll do something a little different. And other than that, any questions mechanically? It's okay if they come up in the context of the actual match, but I'm curious if you have anything before we jump into this very new game within a game.
I mean,
you're muted for me, Will. I don't know.
Yeah, I hit my button because I burped earlier and I didn't turn it back on after I stopped burping. So I'd like to apologize profusely to everybody. How much money do we have on us?
We might not have any money. I think of it.
What? That's quick.
Jing Min had all the money.
Yeah, didn't Jing Min? Yeah, Jing Min had most of the money.
Oh,
I'm sure you
that's
guys have
right.
your own like pocket change, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's
You know, I bet let us some pocket change.
Wait, I remember Jing
How
Min
little
not
could
having
that be?
so much money when they were talking about bail, though.
It's true. When we talked about, do you have 2 handfuls of yuans in episode 11? We established that you had just a few pennies to scratch together, Jing Min. I think
Probably
that was because
a little less than one handful, a little less than a Jing Min
Yeah.
handful. which
That's
is
right. That's right.
Small hands.
Very important unit in our game. So, most of the money was just kind of gathered together the first time your pockets were emptied when you were captured by Kumadi, right? And Jing Min left that scene grabbing the bow and arrows, not the cash. So all of your stuff was eventually at the Republic City Police. So I will say you do have some handfuls of yuans. Most of it was probably Jing Min's. So do with that what you will.
I'm at
We
peace with
need a-
betting her money. We're not the happiest with her right now.
We need to gamble in order to keep eating. So
Yeah,
we're putting
gonna-
all
we're gonna
all the
spend.
money on Akifumi.
Yep, we're going
I
all
love
in
it.
on red.
Oh my god.
We're gonna find out the odds. We're gonna hit a 10-part parlay. It's gonna be great.
Should we,
Ooh.
should we put a little bit of money on the opposing team just in case?
Just in case. Not we need to find out the odds. We'll talk to the bookie, but just in case, it'll be okay.
Okay.
So fun. So fun. Well,
That's
you
a little
shuffle in.
confidence.
Gotta hedge your bet.
Smart gamblers here on our crew. So Fumi, you step out, the doors open, and Mao says, "Okay, it's our time. You're gonna do great." And he leads out first, and you hear over the PA system booming. And we have Mao of the Eelhounds, and just eruption of applause. It's shaking the arena. Followed by Sean and their new airbending exhibition edition, Aki Fumiyako. People go absolutely nuts to see an airbender walk out onto this arena stage. I'm curious, Fumi, have you done anything with your appearance, or are you still just rocking the usual? It's totally fine if it's the usual.
Yeah, just rocking the usual, but with the headgear and pads on.
Absolutely. Yep. And we
Fumi's trying not
have
to bounce right now. She's so excited.
the opposing team, the Buzzard Wasps, joined by Dallas.
Lynn's booing furious in the audience. This is
Your booing, though intense, is somewhat drowned out by the general excitement of the place, Lynn, though things may shift. Who
Well.
knows? Dallas is leading a team of one firebender, Zama, and Rochek, a waterbender. And so, Fumi, you take stock of this, and so you see that you're against an air, a fire, and a waterbender, whereas your team has an earthbender, a firebender, and yourself. Well, ladies and gents, we know that this is an exhibition of airbending. Rules will be lighter, only as it pertains to the airbenders. Why? They're not yet established. And the audience laughs a bit. We are here to celebrate coming together across our differences. We would like to thank President Moon for her idea of this match, and we would also like to thank her for attending today. And a spotlight is placed on a booth where President Moon is standing. And she politely waves to everyone. We thank you for your presence during these difficult and strange times, President Moon. Let us all enjoy the festivities and the match. And we'd also like to mention just a brief word regarding the sponsors of each team. we have Zephyr Sky Dancer backing the Eelhounds, and a bunch of people absolutely rave. Some are foaming at the mouth. One person falls out of the stage and into the water far below. They have to get him out.
Oh no, I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Lynn's a little nervous about that now.
It would take a lot of commitment, Lynn, to like fall into the water from the higher seats. This person was clearly not your usual case, but people are ravingly excited about Zephyr Sky Dancer. Zephyr magnanimously just kind of gestures at everyone, broad sweeping waves. Oh, you're too kind type of a posture. And then sits down. And we actually have a new sponsor who's just acquired the Buzzard Wasps. None other than Woshi Ikeru of Cabbage Corp.
Lynn is
And
going to
there-
Oh my god.
Oh, why?
There is some applause. Most of it seems just a little bit perfunctory. Everyone's so used to clapping that they just keep clapping. It's kind of the mood, but they do clap. And a very stiff man with wispy hair and unassuming expression and glasses on. You can see him as they spotlight him briefly at the other end of the arena, Fumi. And he's smiling. And even at this distance, you can tell the smile is not a friendly smile. It looks like the smile of someone who is about to, like a wolf about to eat a meal. Well, without further ado, let's begin the match. Lynn, Amuk, I would like to ask you if you will do any pre-match arena moves.
We're gambling.
Yeah, we're absolutely
Yeah.
gambling.
We
But
are-
in order to gamble much more effectively, I think we're going to scout the competition. I think was what you said was one of the moves.
That is one of them.
Yeah, so we best know what we're up against here.
Okay. So a scouting report. Would you like to handle that role, Amuk, while Lynn handles the place your bets roll, perhaps?
Before we do that, Lynn, give her all of our money and just go. If we lose this, we aren't gonna eat.
No, it's fine. I'll get a job.
a while.
I've been thinking about it anyways. We'll make it work.
Okay. But also, if we can pull this parlay off, we'll be good.
Yeah,
But
we'll be so
don't
good.
Tell Fumi that we're betting. She doesn't need the extra pressure, right? We shouldn't tell her.
No, and she's all the way down there, and we're up here. It's gonna be fine.
Okay. All right.
But I just want to let it be known that the guy who owns the other team is a guy that does not like us and does not like Fumi. And I'm really, really, really worried that they're going to play dirty to get back at Fumi.
Okay. I have a plan for that. It's not great.
Okay,
We
I'll take that.
might-
Great.
If we might have to cheat a little bit.
How are we going to cheat from up here?
We're both benders. We could just, to help out.
Okay. I'm going to go.
I'm gonna go see if they're gonna play dirty. I'll be go.
Yep, you do that.
What am I rolling with for this?
All right. So, scouting report says when you scout the opposing team by analyzing their strengths and weaknesses, listening to rumors, watching closely, or otherwise gathering information, roll with focus. On a hit, you can convey your learnings to help your teammates determine what they should look out for to take advantage of in the match. And so I'll just say fictionally that you would have an appropriate way of passing this info to Fumi if that's something you decide to do, because I'm still just calling it pre-match.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could do what you want to do with the information instead of passing it to Fumi. On a hit, you learn one unknown advantage or weakness of the opposing team if there are any. On a 7 to 9, pick one from the list below. On a 10 plus, pick both. And so there are several we can look at. But tell me what you're doing in the fiction, Amuk.
In the fiction, Amuk's just gonna
Yeah.
start listening to the crowd, seeing what people are saying. but at the same time looking over at kind of like the coach. It's seeing like, are they being shady? Are they maybe, you know, the old peppermint powder on the boxing glove trick?
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Seeing if they're doing anything maybe to the water or any of the dirt. And I rolled. This is an exciting start. Brand new roll for 2024. I got a 6 and a 5.
Hey.
Which makes 11. Plus 1 to the focus, which makes 12, baby.
Starting 2024 strong.
New Year's high
Wow.
rolls.
Let's see. So on a 10 plus, you can pick both of these options, and there are only 2. So we'll see what you want to do with them. Your team carries +1 forward against the opposing team for several moves that you could choose, Fumi, when you're up there, including precision knockout, down and dirty, or trash talk. All of those are highlight moves that PCs can use when they're pro bending. The second, what's that for me? Or Nikki?
I don't see precision knockout in my notes.
Oh, precision knockout. Let me scan. Oh, that's a great point. Where is precision knockout? Well, we'll have to take issue with Magpie Games for that one. If you get suddenly inspired to know what that move is, let me know.
I'm gonna do a little quick check while you guys you're saying the rest of it.
Yeah, very well. And the second option for a scouting report, your team holds 1 point. Any pro bender can spend that hold on a highlight move to choose a 10 plus option, even if they didn't roll a 10 plus. So you get to give both of these benefits to Fumi's team. That's incredible. Let's lean into what happens, Mook. So you're making your way kind of through the crowd because the folks immediately around you as they're getting seated, you know, they're saying all the types of things you'd expect fans to say, most of it not of consequence, arbitrarily hyping up one player or another, talking about how they haven't heard of this Fumi, and so there's no way she could stand up to Dallas A.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do notice as you look down across the arena, just a menacing expression on Woshi Ikeru's face as he has an exchange of words with the coach, and the coach is nodding seriously as though taking instructions. And he's looking back and forth at the arena. And yes, Will.
This is just my angry face. I should not have raised my finger. I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. I love that your angry face includes an angry hand and an angry finger. Just like, oh,
No, I'm.
it's all good. It's all good. And so you see this, and as you kind of make your way further into the crowd, you see somebody who is standing in just a simple black suit and tie with a hat that covers, kind of shades a bit of their eyes. And this person, you're sure of it as you pass just behind them, nods a few times as they look out. They're standing right at the railing, so they're not nodding to anyone obvious until you look and you see directly across the way that they're actually nodding at a signal, a hand signal from the coach. And so you're standing next to somebody, just another member of the audience who may or may not be in cahoots with the opposing team. Aside from that, you don't know any specifics. This is the advantage that it seems the opposing team has, which is that they're coordinating something with someone who's standing in the audience. Anything else would have to unfold
During the match itself.
Yeah, but the mechanical benefit is still there. So Fumi, make sure you note that your team has a +1 on those 3 moves. Of course, one of them may not exist. Precision knockout.
Yeah, I actually could not
But
find
now if
that
you-
from a search.
Yeah, if you do down and dirty or trash talk, you'll take a +1 on that roll. And then, and that's true for your team. So even if you're not the one who takes that roll, and then make sure that you also know that your team holds 1, which is a point that can be spent just for this purpose. You can, spend that hold on a highlight move and choose a 10+, even if you rolled something less than first.
Okay.
So cash those in when you will.
All right. Oh, so it's for like the whole match.
Yeah, well, the hold 1 is for whenever you spend it during the match, so it's a 1 use.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
+1 forward, I read that as for the duration of the match, any of the applicable moves will have a
Got you.
+1.
Okay. Now I'm following the difference. Okay, I'm going to stick with what I was thinking before for my highlight move. I think she wants to show off how good she is, so she's gonna do over the edge against the waterbender.
I love it. Let's hold on to that roll and see what Lynn's bets look like. And then we will cut to Jing Min. Don't worry, Danny, I haven't forgotten you either.
I mean,
I'm sure you're having
I feel like I'm a viewer. I'm enjoying this.
good.
Like,
That's
just
good.
vibing.
Just vibing over here. Lynn, it's time to place bets. And when you place a bet on your team's success or failure, you tell me what result you're betting on and what you hope to earn. For example, and we don't do numbers here, right? But say enough money to buy a car, enough money to pay rent for a year, enough money to bribe someone in a certain way. Think in terms of a goal and use that as you think about how much money you would like to earn out of this. I'll tell you, what the wager must be, and if the outcome you predict comes to pass, then we roll, and then we essentially on a hit collect winnings. So
Jinkies,
first
you
we'll
should
handle the first
say-
half.
You should
Yeah.
say you want enough money to rise up as the overlord of Republic City, so you can then burn it to the ground.
You know, that's a great idea, actually. Proletariat, stand with me for one moment. But can I place 2 bets?
I don't see anything that says you can't. I think it's fun. I don't want to shut it
Okay.
down. So let's see what happens. And if we realize it's a mistake later, then our listeners will learn with us.
Okay. So I want to win enough money to ensure that there is somewhere Jing Min and Amuk can live indoors for like a month. And I want to put that amount of money down on Fumi's team. On the flip side, however, I do want to put down enough money where I could win one last meal for all of us to have together on the other team.
Oh, that's sad. One last
Well, because
meal.
if we're going to starve,
At least we can starve having noodles one last time.
right, and then we'll deal with the hunger later.
Wow. All right. So if I heard that right, it's Jing Min and Amuk in an apartment for a month.
Mhm.
And that's a bet that you're placing in favor of Fumi.
Yeah, and then
Or-
against
okay.
Fumi, it's the smaller
Yep.
bet.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
So we're gonna lose money regardless here. This is just a really anxious Lynn wanting to make sure we don't starve tonight.
Yeah. And so just fictionally, I'm just going to say most of your cash, pretty much all of it, not exhaustively, but pretty much all of it is going to be required for these 2 wagers.
Yep.
More, it sounds like, for 1 month of rent for 2 people, but then a still significant amount for your last supper, should you need to spend it on that.
Mhm.
Okay. That is super fun. I know you're eager to roll, but it says that if the outcome you predict comes to pass, then you roll, and then we'll
Mhm.
determine on a hit if you collect your winnings. So we'll hang on to that. And I know you're eager to jump into the match, Nikki. But let's take a look at what's happening with Jing Min for a
God.
bit. Jing Min, we cut to a scene that is much quieter now. Not just quieter than the roaring arena, but also quieter than Kumari's welcome speech to all of these new enthusiastic recruits who have just been broken out of jail by her hand. It's quiet. You have a room to yourself where people have directed you to a cot. They even have snacks. They've provided you with whatever else you need. And Kumari comes into your room and just looks at you and brushes her hair aside. Are
Scouting.
you settling in, Min? Actually, yeah, let's pause there because Gus, you're right to call this out. So, Justin
I don't know
just
if you guys
found a
know it yet.
discrepancy.
Scouting report gives you a +1 to over the edge highlight move.
Mm.
Well, that's the one I was planning on using anyway, so that works.
There you go.
There you go.
So it's to over the edge. So the other one we were reading, the precision knockout thing, was just a fluke. Am I
Never
hearing that right?
existed.
The move they thought they made, but they didn't make it in the final product.
Yeah.
There was a misprint in the book, but the play materials have it right. Wow.
Okay.
Somebody send a slightly upset letter to Magpie Games.
All caps.
Take that.
An all caps email.
Yeah.
No,
boomer
we're not
friendly.
that bad. Lower
Well, I wrote
case.
that in my notes.
Excellent. All right. Well. So Kumari comes in. Are you settling in, Min?
As she comes in, we can see Jing Min is sitting there, and typically, the arrows that Jing Min fires, they're more or less arrows that she'd have access to, like training arrows that maybe have like not so much like broadhead tip, but they're like metal tipped, almost like ballpoint tipped, and they can pierce things. But Kumari and us, seeing this as well as viewers can see, Jing Min is fashioning like sharpened broadhead tips to all her arrows. Tips that are meant to do a significant amount of damage. And she's doing that as Kumari walks in. She goes, "Yeah, everything's fine. Do you need something?"
Well, I was wondering if you would like tea.
Like right now? Or are you just wondering if I like it?
Yes.
Like, you're asking if I want to drink it?
If you would like to drink it now, Jingmin.
Kumari, if you could be forward with me, I'd appreciate that.
Kumari gives a perplexed expression. I do feel that I'm being forward, Jingmin. I am offering you tea at this moment, which you could drink at this moment, if you would like my company. I know
like
that you are
tea,
eager
and I'll
to
drink it.
train.
Okay,
I'll take that as a
sorry.
yes.
Sorry, I was focused on something, and you interrupted me, but I would like some tea. All right. And you see,
all
she
right.
just drops a bunch of the arrows in the bow and sort of stands up and faces her. Where to,
Kumari-
sir?
Kumari steps, just putting her head into the hallway and then gestures at somebody. And then they come in and they bring hot tea into your room. Right here is fine. And she sits down on the floor and folds her legs and invites you to cross your legs and join her in the center of the
Jing Min
room.
joins. Yeah,
Okay.
joins, sits down on the floor.
Jasmine tea is poured for Kumari, but I'm curious, Min, what is your favorite tea?
Jing Min's favorite tea is like it's this like form of like ginseng like root that grows in the Fire Nation along the edge of the volcano, but it's almost akin to like ginger because there's like a kick to it. It's like hot, and so she specifically asked for that. I don't know what the name is. The name is literally just fire ginseng.
Sounds good.
There we go.
We have options. And Kumadi, grabs the box out of the other hand of the attendant and opens it to you, and you see your beloved tea of choice. Fire ginseng.
That one, please.
Good. And so moments later, they leave you two, and you have your tea steeping in hand. And Jing Min, if it were possible to be soothed in this moment, the tea would contribute to that.
Okay.
The aroma, the familiarity of it, it's powerful. And Kumadi's presence, though you've always detected this severity in her, is strangely comforting.
Yeah, I think Jing Min allows the soothingness of both the tea and Kumadi's presence. She'll allow that.
As we steep in this moment, we pause for an ad break.
That's the real gag. That's the real gag.
The pun. The pun.
That caught me
Okay,
genuinely
okay.
off guard.
That was so
And we're back.
Do you have some rainforest roots while we were gone?
Rainforest roots. It's chewy. I don't remember.
No,
that.
I Cabbage Corp.
Lynn's going to go
Right,
destroy
totally.
a section of
Rainforest
rainforest
roots.
roots at a grocery store.
Feels like the forest looks. Rainforest chew.
How it
Chew
feels
the
to chew
roots.
rainforest chew.
How it chews to feel 5 rows. Blah blah blah.
We need a blooper reel of all just rainforest roots ads and attempts at ads.
I'm trying
I'm
to
working
think.
on it.
Rainforest roots, as chewy as the rainforest is thick. There you go. How's that
Well,
You ain't never had gum this thick.
Rainforest roots. The only way you'll be able to burn and slash these prices is if you destroy the rainforest.
That's the Cabbage
chew
Corp version.
rainforest gum. Cue footage of us falling through the bridge.
No, there you go. How it feels to chew rainforest gum.
I would love to just, while we're riffing on this, encourage all of our listeners, feel free to make Rainforest Roots ads and submit them in the chat. Not in the Twitch chat, but for safekeeping in our Discord, so that I can look at them later and possibly incorporate them into the show. I think that'd be
Or
really
if you
fun.
can tweet about it. Hashtag Dustfire Media on any social media platform. I stalk divas.
That's true. That would be fun. That would be a way to share it with the world and with us. So
Yes.
yeah, let us know what you think I should read as a Rainforest Roots ad. There'll be opportunities for those, I'm sure. Well, it's appropriate that you take that long, peaceful swig, Danny. After Jing Min takes that sip, Kumadi sighs. Sometimes I forget how young Jing Min is. It's totally appropriate for you to slurp. Min, I know you're eager to train, and that I've promised you techniques. But first, I want to ask you a more essential question. One that I think is imperative for me to understand in order to teach you properly. Jing Min, why do you fight?
To get better.
To get better at fighting?
I guess, yeah.
But why fight in the first place? People fight for many reasons. It is essential that I understand yours.
I spent too long not fighting, just waiting and listening, and I only got hurt. I think the only option there is to fight.
How old are you, Min?
12, does that matter?
Kumari looks into her tea for a moment, contemplatively.
I shoot like a 50-year-old.
I'm sure you do.
Like a fit 50-year-old though, who has really strong arms, who can shoot well.
Right. She looks into your eyes deeply, Jing Min. It is sad to find ourselves in a world that makes warriors out of children. But here we are. Fighting. And fight we must. You say that you were waiting and listening for too long. What happened?
What do you mean? What happened? Like in
You
general?
said that someone hurt you. What happened, Jing Min?
Someone hurt me. What? Everyone hurt me. Kumari, is this what you want to do? You want to have tea with me? And what? You want to? I don't know what you're trying to do, but I don't like this tea break anymore, and I think you should leave.
This is helping me to understand what I must teach you, Min, and whether you are ready to learn it. I'm sure that if I offered you a deadly technique, you would accept and train ardently without hesitation. Is that right?
Of course.
But if I offer training of a different kind, preparation of the mind and spirit, would you also accept this training to ensure that you know when to use deadly techniques?
If you think it'll make me better, then yes.
Good. If you're feeling uncomfortable, or if this is already painful, I would take that as a sign that you are doing the harder thing. You are prodigious in skill. I have no doubt that within moments, let alone hours, you could learn what I have to teach you in the way of combat. But that comes easily to you. First, you must do the harder thing. And that is to learn how to wait and to listen again. Because I suspect that you've forgotten both. Am I wrong?
And I guess you're right in a way.
What separates us from thoughtless monsters is a clear purpose, a vision of the world we fight for. A war is coming, Min. Did you know that?
No.
A war between the Red Lotus and all who stand against them. And I, for one, will stand against them. And I want you on my side when that war comes. But wars are not won by the strength of a single bow. They are won by numbers, information, and spirit. This is why I will have you do the hardest things that I can think of to prepare. Do you understand?
I understand. You had asked who hurt me. One of those people was my grandfather. He was the main source of my training, and the man who has made me who I am today. Just before I ran from my family, he revealed to me that he was a part of a group that the rest of the world didn't see eye to eye with. That group was the Red Lotus. That's the reason I
Lonnie's
ran.
eyes flash. You were right to run away, Min.
But I'm done running. I want to stand with you against the Red Lotus. I want my arrows to riddle the bodies as they lie on the floor like a field of long grass.
Then you are in the right place. The most dangerous thing a person can become is one who forgets why they are fighting. So over the next several cups of tea, I want you to hold that purpose as clearly as you can in your mind. And then I will ask you again why you fight, and it's okay if your answer has changed or expanded. This is one thing we must be sure of as we proceed. Take all the time you need. Tea is not in short supply. She smiles and nods and then makes to leave.
And then I think after a moment of her leaving, Jing Min is just like staring at the tea. And I think we kind of like see flashbacks of like a mook trying to like get her to meditate with him and stuff like that. And then we cut back and we see Jing Min just staring at the tea again. And the Jing Min sort of closes her eyes and just starts sipping the tea. And with her eyes closed, sipping the tea like that, because you know she's a child. For the first time, like ever, she really just tries to like meditate. And on specifically on what her and Kumari talked about, like what her drive is. And she sees like images of her like fighting people, because at first that was just what she wanted to do to get better at fighting. But then she starts to imagine her like fighting Red Lotus members specifically. And then we see an image of her launching an arrow into her grandfather in her mind. And she opens her eyes and we see this look of anger in her eyes and a smile.
Whoa. We cut to the pro-bending arena. Fumi, you step onto the platform, cheered on by the crowds. Amuk, I'm curious if you've passed word to her regarding the man in the suit, or if you've just acting on that information yourself.
I feel like I'm gonna hold off just yet to not like make her nervous. Isn't confirmed any tomfoolery just yet, but getting suspicious and watching.
Okay. Yep. She's got plenty on her plate, so I can understand that. Fumi, you step forward onto the platform, and before you know it, you hear the first buzzer for round 1. The team has
Alright.
told you before you step on, Mao said, obviously, we can't predict what will happen, but this is an exhibition and they want to see you bend. So we'll do all we can to give you the spotlight, especially round 1 and round 3. Start strong, finish strong. That's what the media said. Got it?
Got it. I can do that.
Okay. And as you hear the buzzer, you have a choice to make. What will you do?
Fumi is gonna go straight for the waterbender with like lashing out her air, like with a few punches to try and push her over the edge, or him.
Yeah, let's see. Who did I put here? The waterbender is a dude presenting person named Rochek.
Okay. I probably did not spell that right, but whatever.
It's all good. I will spell check our shared name document later. What is
Yeah,
your
we're gunning
highlight
for-
move?
Over the edge.
Over the edge. I'm sorry if I missed that. Okay. Can you read over the edge for us? All of these moves are new, and we're here to learn.
Yeah. -2 if you're angry or insecure, which Fumi is not. When you try to knock one specific opponent off the edge of the platform, mark 1 fatigue and roll with focus. On a hit, your technique works. Describe how you manage to knock your opponent into the water, helping your team secure victory this round. On a 10+, pick an option from the list. Your team carries a +1 forward against the opposing team for trick shot or duel. If this move is successfully executed in the second round, you have 1 victory by knockout.
Excellent.
All
right.
and then
Yeah,
on
let's
a
see that
miss-
roll, and then
or-
we can get into the details. Yeah.
All right. So that is a 6 plus 1 for focus, and plus the 1 for the scouting report, right?
Yeah. Is that on the list? Over the edge is one of the 3 moves you can apply it to?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the one that was precision knockout.
Awesome. Awesome.
So that puts me
That
at
makes sense.
an 8. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, your technique works. So we don't choose one of the additional options from that list. That's just the 10+. So just narrate for us knocking this person out.
Yeah, Fumi does not let up. She just immediately starts gunning for the poor waterbender. And she like dodges to the side as some water comes her way, and just whap with like throws her hand up with a huge blast of air.
Rochek is just blasted backwards by this arc of air that comes from your arm. And what remained of his water attacks just fizzle into the air. And some of the water gets blasted back at him. And so a soaked Rochek stumbles backwards and falls right off of the platform into the water below to uproarious applause. That's what I'm talking about, says Mal.
All right, we
And-
got it.
You win round 1, Fumi.
Yay.
Let's go to round 2. This time I will have an NPC. Normally I'd pass to a different PC and the GM just chooses who goes for a highlight move. I'm going to have the girl on your team, Xiang, step forward in the next round. And just so everyone knows how this relates fiction to kind of the initial sport, we're imagining a bunch of things happening in these rounds, and the highlight move is just that. It's a highlight. It's the significant event that the camera would zoom in on that seems like it determines an outcome in the match. So you could imagine tons of chaos for all that's happening here. And then the thing that we name as our move is the most significant takeaway. It's like if you were to read a summary or hear a summary of the sports event on the radio or something like that. And I'll actually have you do that just so you can have it queued up in your brain for the next move in round 3, Nikki. I want you to narrate that move from the perspective and voice of the announcer.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I think that would be really fun for you to be one of the sports
That is a
announcers
lot of fun.
describing it from the outside. So for round 2, the buzzer sounds and we zoom in on the face of Shang, who is, yes, your firebender. And the move that I'm going to choose for her is... Ooh. I like Razzle Dazzle. Mostly for the name, I have to confess. Who could withhold?
One, though.
Who could not Razzle Dazzle if they had the choice? And so, just for those who want to learn the game, this says, when you show off your spectacular techniques or blazing speed to intimidate your opponents, roll creativity, mark 1 fatigue. On a hit, describe how your display led to creating an opening for another teammate, which was all your team needed to cinch victory for the round. And I won't roll as this as GM. I'll just narrate what happens on a successful Razzle Dazzle. So Xiang throws a bunch of fire blasts, and unfortunately, your team is having trouble pacing this time. Dalisay is extremely formidable, Fumi, and she blasts you back 1 zone, losing ground. And then she blasts Mao back 1 zone. And so things look bad. There's a high chance of a knockout when Xiang pulls out this Razzle Dazzle. And so she just starts casting so many fireballs left and right that for a moment she is holding off all 3 of your opponents. I'd like for you to mark inspired. You're inspired at least until you mark your next condition, in case that comes into effect. And I'm just going to call this a hit, not a 10 plus. And so the opening that she creates is for you, because they're trying to spotlight you the whole way. And so she throws up her last two blasts on the left side flank at aiming at Dalisay, and sets you up for a moment where Dalisay is off balance. You're lined up with her, and so she knows that's your default pick for someone to focus on. And so I'll let you describe whatever you do in terms of a move to knock Dalisay off.
Is this like one of the highlight moves then?
No, it's not a highlight move. It's pure fiction,
okay.
And you can just say what you do so we can picture Fumi. And this doesn't have to be the announcer voice. We'll use that for round 3.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, Fumi like it follows in the fire, like kind of sweeping under it, and does like an upper hook that doesn't of course make direct contact with Dalisay, but sends like a huge blast of wind at her, sending her up off her feet to fly back off the arena.
Oh my god.
Fun. Hype. Well, that's something we haven't seen before. Only an airbender could pull it off. Look at the lift on that lady. And Dalisay is very awkward looking in the air. Was totally caught off guard by this uplift. And just flails before catching the back edge of the arena or the platform. You see for a moment that her hand catches the edge, and you see her fingers like she's just barely dangling and hanging on, and then she lets go and falls into the water below.
Fumi just calls out Fighter, sorry. I admire you.
You're not sorry. That's shouting from the stands.
And so for 2 out of 3, folks, the announcer voice comes on. We would normally call that a victory, but for today's exhibition match, we will play the 3rd round out, and we will only give them a victory if they hit 3 out of 3. Otherwise, we just keep playing because we know you want to see these airbenders fly. And people just go nuts for this. Once you reset, you collect yourself. You have the opportunity to choose your next move. But first, I want to go to Lynn and Amook and ask any other arena moves that you'd like to do mid-match.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was a possibility. I
Can
mean,
you give us the choices one more time? Because I know it's Scout. It's the only one that for some reason my brain decided to remember. I don't
That's
remember
all
the
right.
other three.
That's all right. So there's motivational speech. There's unconventional training program, which I guess it would be hard to summarize all of these efficiently, but unconventional training program is for pre-match. So that's probably, we'll rule that out. Place your bets we've already touched on. Scouting report we've touched on. So the one that remains is be aggressive, which is when you hype the audience up in support of your team with sidelines antics. You make a rallying cheer. You have to make up a rallying cheer, so some words.
Jinkies, but I feel like that sounds like the one to do. What do you think, Jinkies?
I say we go for it. I mean, I don't know. We can't lose anything, right? I mean, unless if we miss, they'll mark a condition. Nikki, how many conditions do you have marked?
None.
0, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is there to lose?
Right. Do you want to roll?
Oh gosh.
Oh, like, I guess my passion is bad, so this might be Nikki. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Nikki, I'm
Oh,
so
no.
sorry.
Should we min-max this?
Well,
My
we-
passion is
Min-max.
too.
Think of who would be most likely to do the chant.
Oh.
Well,
Lynn.
Jinky's already established that.
Okay.
Lynn's
Lynn's yelling.
already shouting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn's doing it then.
I'm still too depressed to try to start a chant. Right
Oh
now.
no!
He would join
I'm
in on the
sorry.
chant if it's inspiring enough. So make
That's
it
right. If it
good.
warms him up a bit, he'll join. But yeah, it's another thing to lead the chant.
Lynn is chanting, "Fumi sweep, Fumi sweep, Fumi sweep."
I love it.
Oh, wait, that's gonna be a 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a noise from Gus, and I wasn't sure if there was something wrong or if you said something, Gus.
Oh no, I was going, hey.
Oh, hey, okay. I think I got lag from you, so I was like, "Ayr," and I just wasn't sure if you were like
Oh, no.
disappointed with the 9 or scheming
No, 9's
somehow. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you get a 9 on Be Aggressive, Lynn. As you succeed, the pro benders hear your chant. They appreciate your efforts. Since there's only one pro bender PC on your team, I'm assuming you pick Fumi. She would clear a condition if she had one. Other than that, no mechanical benefit. But boy, isn't it fun to chant?
We're just real excited.
The whole stadium's like, boo me, sweet. Boo me,
Boo.
sweet. Sweet. Boo
And that's
me,
what's
sweet.
important. Can we clock Mr. Cabbage Man's tea? What's he thinking about this?
Oh, you want to just take a look down at Woshi Ikeru and see if you notice anything?
Yeah, I mean, his star player just got swept off the platform. The entire stadium is now chanting for the other team. And I hope he's a little bitter.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look over, Lynn, and to your dismay, he does not seem upset at all.
I'm gonna go crash
He's
into his cabbage
just
cart. I
s-
swear to
He's
God.
just standing there with that sinister smile.
Great.
Should we try to steal something from him? From his box?
That is such a bad idea. Absolutely, says Will, but not says Lynn.
What does Lynn say? I'm curious.
No, we have to watch Fumi. It'd be so messed up to leave and not support her.
Okay, you're right.
Did we get snacks before the match started?
Oh yeah. Amuk was never going to pass up an opportunity when there's snacks involved, despite how depressed he is. He's
Thank God.
always a snacker.
Lynn's gonna pass Amuk the popcorn. Then we'll go back to watching.
Takes a couple. Trades with the
We're
fireflies.
nibbling.
And I love the question that you asked, Gus, because you are able to do other things during this match, right? You're not limited to the arena moves. So if you think of anything else before, after, during, that's fine in future as well. All right, folks, it's time for the final round for this game. Dallas, you hear conflicting chants in the crowd. Fumi sweep on one end, Dallas on the other, and the energy in the house is incredible. The announcer gives the signal. The buzzer goes off. Fumi, what have you chosen for your last highlight move?
I feel like since we're highlighting the airbenders, the only correct way to end this is with a duel.
Oh,
Ooh.
I love that.
And I already rolled, and I rolled a 9 plus 2 for passion, so that's an 11.
Excellent.
Oh, listen,
She's
Fumi
too
sweep,
powerful.
not just incoming.
Fumi
Here.
is going to go pro.
Okay, so the dual move says, when you engage in a furious back and forth exchange of blows one-on-one with an opponent, roll with passion. On a hit, which she got, you cast your opponent off the arena, making an opportunity to win the round. Describe how you use your martial prowess to remain in play while knocking your opponent down. What was the number again?
11.
11. On a 10 plus, pick an option from the list. Have you chosen your option? I forget if you said it.
Oh no, actually I had it.
Okay, so you can. Well, let's see. You're ending on this, so I guess these ones won't carry a ton of weight.
Yeah.
Actually, they could carry weight outside of the match. So you already have inspired from a previous move, but
Yep, so I'd
you
say
could give.
probably prepared.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could give yourself prepared until the next time you mark a condition. You have that status. That's probably the best thing since you're ending this, right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm gonna do then.
Awesome. And if there were multiple PCs, they would all receive this benefit. So that's duel is a powerful move. All right. Well, tell us, Fumi, describe for us in detail how you use your martial prowess in this duel.
And the airbenders are one-on-one now. They're going back and forth while the others back away to the side. It's a tornado out there, folks. They're Dulce pushes Fumi back, and she's almost at the line, but doesn't quite go all the way back. Fumi spins around with a kick that sends another air blast, and Dulce scoots a little bit further back. We're almost there, folks. One of them is going to go off any second now. They both send a huge blast of air at each other. Oh, there's a whirlwind in the middle. And as Fumi powers it up, it slams into Delisay, knocking her off the arena.
Woo!
That was hard.
Fumi sweep, Fumi sweep. Being a sports commentator apparently
Oh my
is
gosh.
something difficult.
Yeah, the
Especially
sports
when you're
commentator
narrating things
says-
that-
The sports commentator says in the mic that was hard after she announced that.
I'm
like
winded just
sweating
from
from
saying
that.
that.
Fumi sweep. Fumi
Fumi
sweep.
sweep.
Oh my gosh.
I love that there was a whirlwind that like generated in the middle of the arena between the two of you. Again, no rules against whirlwinds at this point, so bring your own tornado
Yeah.
from home and you're good.
Technically, you
Um,
could just air drown people right now in this exhibition match, right? Like, there's no
Oh
rules
my
against.
gosh.
I think
That's
there's rule
against
against
that.
killing people, Gus.
Oh, they won't die.
Oh.
They'll just
Oh
bleed
my
a lot.
God.
Like Jin
What's the
Ming
worst
said.
that happens? It's just air.
Well,
For the lack of it.
now the audience cheers, and we just see a montage of continued mini matches. Your teams are encouraged to continue playing just for fun. It was just for fun anyway. There's no bracket or tournament officially for airbenders to be included in pro bending yet, but it's obvious that people love what they're seeing. And after the exhibition goes on for some time, Fumi, you are quite fatigued. And to keep up the show, I would like for you to mark one fatigue to give your
Okay.
best for the rest of the exhibition.
That puts me at 5 fatigue.
Okay.
Ooh.
And afterwards, the announcer says, "Well, thank you, everybody. Let's have the teams properly bow to each other, exchange greetings, and also meet the respective coaches and sponsors. Thank you all for coming." And so the platform is joined by Woshi Ikeru and Zephyr Skydancer and the two coaches of the Eelhounds and the Buzzard Wasps, respectively. And so, Fumi, you now see Woshi Ikeru up close. Your team forms a line, their team forms a line, and you start walking by each other and greeting each other. And so some bow and some of the opposing team members go straight for a hug. Dallas goes in for a hug and says, "That was incredible. Nice work."
Oh my gosh, thank you. I really look up to all you've done here.
Wow.
Fumi.
I mean, I'm your new fan, so
Oh,
hopefully see you around. And the line continues on. Zama, the firebender, kind of just gives you finger guns as he passes by. Rochek didn't seem to take it as well, getting blasted off in the first round by you. And so he's just kind of like, yeah, it was good game, good match. And Woshi Ikeru goes for a handshake. I'm
Fumi
curious
is
if
not
you
thinking
accept
about it, so she is going to accept it. She is too hyped on the
Okay.
match right now.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
And you feel him put something in the palm of your hand as he just takes your hand with both hands and gives you a firm, emphatic handshake and smiles at you, Fumi. Great work. Great work. Stunning.
Thanks.
And you just feel in the palm of your hand a very small scroll, just a tiny note wrapped very tightly. He was the last person in line, so you don't have to greet anyone else. Once again, everyone bows to much applause, and you are escorted to the back room with your team out of the main arena.
Fumi's gonna look at that.
Okay, yeah. Fumi, when you get a little moment to yourself, folks are cleaning up and trying to freshen up after the match and prep to perhaps go out and greet more of the audience if that's what you want to do. It's not an obligation, but you're in the back room that belongs to your team for this moment. And you open this note. And there's no words on it. But as you open it, there's a puff of some type of dust that you inhale.
Did you just anthrax Fumi? I can't believe he just anthraxed Fumi. He's just a child.
And we cut to Lynn and Amuk.
Steve.
Lynn and Amuk, you placed bets on this match.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And you placed a bet in favor, the larger bet in favor of Fumi and the Eelhounds. And so let's see the roll.
I'm so scared. That is an 8.
Okay.
We 8
On a hit,
times our
you can
money.
collect your winnings. You earn the ire of your bookie. They're likely to watch you more carefully and demand a higher wager next time. But you now have enough money in your hand, Lynn, to pay for Jing Min and Amuk to have rent for 1 month.
This is the most exciting moment of this podcast because we have 2 friends that are no longer homeless.
The bookie
I
looks
thought
at you
your
and then
plan-
yeah.
I thought your plan was to just like stick them in a room together and say, "Figure it out."
Well, I didn't say where the room would be, Diva.
That's fun.
That's so good.
And the bookie looks
No.
at the list and looks at your face again, Lynn, and says, "Wait a second. You placed 2 bets, one against the other team, didn't you? I'd like for you to
Yeah, but I
roll
gave you the
again
money
for
for that
your
one."
second bet."
In a
Now,
covered
what
ground,
are-
you know.
God's green earth. Oh, that dice landed in my pile of other die. That's gonna be a 5.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting excited and trigger happy there because I wanted to see, we had asked for 2 wagers, but I'm only supposed to activate the rest of this move if it comes to pass, right? So the wager against them doesn't do anything. It's just money that's lost in the pot. So
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
I accept that.
That would have been fun to see if he takes the money back out of your hands for some reason after your first
Oh, we would have
winnings.
been crying. Actual tears.
What an emotional roller coaster that would be. But yes, you get to keep your winnings. And let's cut to Jing Min. Jing Min, you've had some cups of tea now. You've had a moment of perhaps real meditation. Maybe for the first time, at least in a long time, as far as we've been able to see with Min. Some time passes in this new place. You get to know some of the names of bunkmates, people, but you've been permitted to have your own room, which you realize as you go through the facility beneath the Woozy Crown is not typical. You seem to be getting preferential treatment. I'd like to ask you if you do anything. You see all the regulars around. Donna and Perla are having a drink. The Woozy Crown brings food and drink downstairs. You can have your pick of anything you'd like to eat, and the food is quite good. LJ is there, not knowing his true name, the leather jacket man. And Kumadi could also be sought out. But I'm just curious if you have free space, if you'd like to do anything. Otherwise, I can happily present something to you.
I think because Jing Min is the little untrusting raccoon girl that she is, I think she'll try to find a way to traverse the sort of headquarters, the Red Monsoon headquarters, whatever that she's in, like silently. Maybe if there are like rafters along the ceiling, and she wants to just traverse this space to see if she can find anything out. Maybe there's more that, Humadi isn't telling her. She just wants to eavesdrop and espionage her way into some information, hopefully. If she doesn't find any information, then it means that Humadi's trustworthy, But
okay. I could see this as an assess the situation, or I could focus on the stealth and go for like a rely on your skills and training. I think let's do that. Rely on your skills and training. Give me a focus roll.
I also have it's funny. We were just talking about these 2 words. I have a move called wait and listen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you assess the situation while taking the time to use your extraordinary skills to absorb hidden or deep information, mark 1 fatigue to roll with focus instead of creativity. Would you say this could apply here?
Yes. Yeah. I'll allow that. That's exciting.
Heck yeah. So I will mark a fatigue, and I'll roll assess the situation with focus instead of creativity, and I'll become prepared. Forget what prepared does, but all right. Assessing.
I mean, you can clear it at any time to take +1 to an appropriate roll or to avoid marking a condition, so you can hang on to it.
Okay, heck yeah. I'm assessing an 8.
Okay. What question would you like to ask? Mechanically, because I know what you're going for in terms of goal, but
yeah. There are questions, Steve. There are questions with this move. Oh, here they are. I guess what should I be on the lookout for is the one that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, like in terms of information, like I said, she's trying to figure out if the Red Monsoon's really about like pushing against the Red Lotus. So I guess anything like in terms of finding that out, like she wants if she should be on the lookout for like people conversing, maybe like hushed conversations. So I guess what should I be on the lookout for? That's the one I'll choose.
Okay. Jing Min, as you scale the rafters and make your way through this facility, and it's several levels, you overhear many conversations. People talking about the activity of the Red Lotus, them being behind the missing artifacts and relics. You hear things that confirm what you've suspected all this time, that the Red Lotus, one guy says absolutely emphatically that they were behind the bombing of the police archives. And by the time you get to, let's say Kumadi's meeting room, it's quite dark, very low light. And she's sitting down having a serious, quiet conversation with two people whose faces you cannot see because they are fully wrapped. I mean, these people look like they're ready to be sent out on a hit and to stay totally anonymous. And because of your extraordinary abilities to sense and to pick up information, you can just make out what Kumadi says hanging from the rafters up there. She says, I'm unsure of the next step, but I think we need to find this one called Shadowpaw. Our intelligence suggests that the way people summon her when they want to hire her for a job is to use a very specific scent. We have to make this tincture. And she unfolds a piece of paper and puts it in front of the two hench people. If you cannot find her, at least find these things so that we can summon her. I had one of the ingredients in a vial, but unfortunately it has since been taken from me. Other than that, keep an eye out for Cho. I believe he has it and must pay. And we will cut for tonight.
Wow. Okay, then.
I'm sorry that we won't resolve what happens with Fumi yet.
Oh! Is the secret scent that summons Shadowpaw anthrax?
You're onto something.
I still think Shadowpaw is a spirit. That's my guess. Shadowpaw's a spirit.
Shadowpaw is votes in Discord. Thank you all. This was a super fun session. I'm glad we got to try out some of the arena moves and highlight moves for pro bending. Thank you, everybody who supports us. If you haven't yet, take a look at patreon.com/Dustfire Media. That's one way to support us. If you haven't joined us in Discord, that's great too. We love to get to know you better there. And I've got some things to figure out as usual. But one thing to think about for the top of next session, Nikki, is aspects of fame. Now that you've had this real moment of success, what implications there may be for that. So I don't know off the top of my head. So we'll take a look at that and make sure that Fumi gets appropriately famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
having fun. Yeah.
If you are listening to this, you are not following us on TikTok, please fix that. Please
Yes.
fix that. We're doing a series where every day we're talking about a new TTRPG system that isn't like a D&D or a mainstream system. So if you want to learn more about TTRPG systems that aren't Avatar Legends or Scum and Villainy, hop on over there. We're making a lot of content there, and I would love to see you guys over there.
Good call out. Thank you for that, Will. And Will's doing a fabulous job on there. Thank you, Will, for your efforts on the Tickety Talk. Everyone, it's great to see you. I missed this. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.